Tekashi 6ix9ine is perhaps the most loathed figure in hip-hop. Seriously, I put actual hard thought to it, and I could not think of anyone that's more universally disliked than the rainbow-haired rap troll. Plenty of rappers have their fair share of beefs. It kind of goes along with the territory of certain kinds of rap. But 6ix9ine is taking it to a whole new level. His trolling ways carried him to the top of the rap game, and then it caused him to come crashing back down to earth. He went from the top of the charts to allegedly hitting up his manager Wack 100 for $20 for gas. But more on that later. I know we normally do rise and fall of streetwear brands, but I've been wanting to try out something a bit different. We'll continue to do the streetwear videos, but I wanted to try out a rise and fall of rapper videos also, since there's no shortage of them to cover. And what better rapper to start the series off with than the rap villain himself, Tekashi 6ix9ine. I'm Nate the Great from TakeFlight214.com, and today we'll cover the rise and very hard fall of Tekashi 6ix9ine. But before we get started, don't forget to smash that like button. It helps us spread the message and get noticed within the YouTube search rank. But with that being said, let's jump right in. Born Daniel Hernandez in Brooklyn, New York's Bushwick area, and having been raised by a single mother, the only father figure that he ever knew, a stepdad, was gunned down when 6ix9ine was 13 years old, a few blocks away from their house. Fun fact, before 6ix9ine hit in music, he actually tried his hand at a streetwear line of sorts. Well, if you really even want to call it that. It was more like wild words and phrases plastered on the pieces a la Pyrex ripoff style. And although it came as no surprise that not many people wanted to wear shirts with the word HIV or STD plastered all over it, it would show the edgelord nature that 6ix9ine would later become famous and then infamous for. He began to pick up steam on IG for his antics, such as the time he pedigreed the chick on the bed while they were both wearing nothing but their underwear. He actually also began using the 6ix9ine name for the first time on social media and started his OCD-like obsession with 6ix9ine tattoos. At this time, he was less rap villain and more sleazebag horn dog. Being known for making such a spectacle of himself in the streets and on the web, people began to suggest that he try his hand at rap. Because hey, that's all it takes to become a rapper these days. Never mind the fact that no one had ever heard a single bar at that time, and he himself admitted that he didn't even want to rap. It was just like, hey, you sir, you look like an interesting fellow. I'll bet you'd be great as a rapper. His early stuff was nothing to really write home about. It wouldn't be until he linked up with Scum Gang, an artist collective in the vein of Wu-Tang Clan, and they started to help him fine-tune his craft a bit. This was during the golden era of SoundCloud, so 6ix9ine would take on posting songs onto the site, and he would experience moderate success there. We would also get a glimpse into the type of person that 6ix9ine was when he would begin to discard his Scum Gang brethren as he gained in popularity. Many also believed that Righteous P and Zilla Kami were the main ones that helped mold the 6ix9ine style into what we know it as today. But rest assured, Tekashi would ghost them too. 2017, he struck lightning with his breakout hit Gummo. When it came time to shoot the video, 6ix9ine decided to recruit a series of 9 Trey Gangsta Blood members to appear in the video and add extra street cred to his now outlandishly grimy raps. And never mind the fact that he previously ran with Crips, because he's a Blood now. This would also forecast the flippant, fair-weather nature of his gang ties too. This would be the beginning of a pretty uneventful relationship between 6ix9ine and the New York street gang. But by now, 6ix9ine was in full-on look-at-me mode, and this was the clout rap era, so it proved to work out well for him. As for Treyway, 6ix9ine was a human cash cow, so they were all too happy to play muscle to the annoyingly obnoxious frontman. It didn't take long for legal trouble to find Tekashi though. The first public instance came as a result of a 2015 charge for, shall we say, inappropriate behavior with a minor? 6ix9ine would weasel his way out of the charge without doing any jail time and continue his ascent to the top of the rap charts. His next single, Cuda, debuted at number 61 on the Hot 100 the week of December 23rd in 2017. And on January 14th the following year, he released his third single, Kiki, with Fetty Wap and A Boogie with the Hoodie, which also charted on the Hot 100. His debut mixtape, Day 69, was released on February 23rd of 2018 and debuted at number 4 on the Billboard 200 album chart with 55,000 album equivalent units, of which 20,000 were pure sales. One of the first public beefs that he had with another rapper, aside from the one with P and Zilla, came in 2017. When Brooklyn rapper Casanova released his single Set Trippin', the streets rumbled that the song was a sneak diss directed at 6ix9ine. And being the trouble-loving troll that he is, no way he could let this slide. He clapped back at Casanova during the live performance of Gummo by alluding to having had sex with Cass's girl. Casanova happened to be in attendance that night and would express his displeasure with the skillhead rapper. In 2018, the beef would escalate to the point of gunplay. The two would eventually come to a resolution, but this certainly would not be the last beef that 6ix9ine would find himself in. Over the years, 6ix9ine has racked up a laundry list of people that he has had a problem with, including Adrian Brenner, Chief Keef and all of GBE, G Herbo, J Prince Jr., The Game, Trippie Redd, and tons of others. I could do an entire video on his beefs alone. It was because of all his shenanigans that he needed the assistance of Treyway. Had he been a less antagonizing guy, then perhaps he wouldn't need to roll around with a street gang. But hey, had he been a less antagonizing guy, he probably wouldn't have been as popular as he was. It was a double-edged sword. One that 6ix9ine had to keep flailing around like a madman because it was what brought him to the dance. Not to mention, some of the people that he was beefing with were pretty serious guys, so 6ix9ine needed Treyway to watch his six. But this was a recipe bound for disaster. You have on the one hand a loudmouth, tough guy wannabe rapper, and on the other, a group of legit gangsters with not much to lose. So it didn't take long for issues to arise. There were stories of extortions, a video surfaced of 6ix9ine being kidnapped and held for ransom, and allegations of Shotty, the leader of the Trey 9 Bloods, sleeping with his baby mama. Shotty would continuously deny the allegations, but nobody really believed him. Tekashi couldn't have felt good about any of this. I mean, here's a group of guys who, let's be honest, had been put on by 6ix9ine. He gave them a spotlight, even though as a street gang, I'm not sure if that's what you really want. But he put money in their pockets and he gave them the opportunity to clean up their acts if they had so chosen. And I mean, yeah, 6ix9ine was insufferable and he kept him busy pulling his ass out of jams. But now he was being embarrassed by the same group of guys that he picked up to do the opposite for him. And if Shotty did in fact bang his baby moms, then that's the ultimate show of disrespect. 6ix9ine would not take these slights laying down. Sarah did though. Oh, nah, but seriously. He announced that he was firing his team and distancing himself from 9 Trey. He was all on his own now. But little did he know, this wasn't the end of his troubles. More like the beginning. Indictments were handed down for 9 Trey and 6ix9ine because, surprise, sometimes real life gangsters do real gangster shit. I won't go into detail because much like many of the misadventures of 6ix9ine, the in-depth story could take up a whole video on its own. Suffice to say, 6ix9ine and many of the 9 Trey Bloods, including Shotty, were jammed up and facing RICO charges. What came next was pretty predictable. Although 6ix9ine had allegedly sold H in his days before hitting it in rap, he wasn't really a street guy like that, and as far as I know, had never served nor faced any serious time before. So when you combine that with all the aforementioned disrespect that he had gotten from Treyway, 6ix9ine rolled over like an 8-ball, including snitching on one of the guys, Cuda, for a drill that 6ix9ine had personally sent him on. When it was all said and done, 6ix9ine may as well have charged booking fees for the way he had sang in the interrogation room, ultimately resulting in a minuscule 2-year sentence for himself while selling his former comrades up the river in the process. To make matters even worse, 6ix9ine would get released early on his already light sentence after complaining about his asthma and fear of COVID. This was in the days when they were releasing criminals all over COVID fears. Yeah, I know, sounds really stupid, but that's not the point. For 6ix9ine, all his trolling antics had finally caught up with him, and now being labeled a snitch seemed to serve as the final nail in his proverbial coffin. Although he reportedly signed a new record deal worth $10 million upon release, consumers were pretty fed up with his bit by now. He would drop new music, but most of the momentum that he had before getting locked up was now gone. For a rapper who had built his entire career and image off clout, being now seen as a snitch was the best way to tank himself. He would recruit the help of games manager Wack 100 to try to get him back on track and revive his decaying career. Wack has served as an unofficial manager / street mentor of sorts for 6ix9ine. He's had him on his podcast to try to clean up his name a bit, and he's also served as a cooler head for the rapper's unquenchable thirst for controversy. Wack would admittedly get guff from some people for working with a guy as publicly loathsome as 6ix9ine, but Wack seemed like the type of guy to not really care about stuff like that, stating that he had 43 million reasons to work with Tekashi. Which brings us to the recent video in where Wack states that 6ix9ine is now broke. So broke, in fact, that he had to hit him up for $20 for gas money. When I first read this in text, I thought that it might have some truth to it. After all, 6ix9ine can't be bringing in the bucks like he did a few years ago, and he has notoriously silly spending habits. But when you watch the actual video clip, Wack's statements drip with sarcasm. You see, 6ix9ine is currently being sued for a robbery stemming from his 9 Trey days, and where 6ix9ine recorded video of the incident. In court, Tekashi stated to the judge that he was quote-unquote broke, considering his career is taking a downturn, and if he had to pay out, then he wouldn't be able to provide for his family. When you take this into consideration, it's easy to see how Wack may have just been playing the big homie role and vouching for 6ix9ine's story so as to make him look broke for the judge. As for me, I'm sure 6ix9ine's not booking shows like he used to, but he's certainly not broke. He can still get some shows, not to mention his recent pump and dump NFT scam and where he made away with a good amount of change. At the height of his run, 6ix9ine was one of the most talked about rappers in the game. It was the peak of the clout rap era, and if nothing else, he was a master at bringing attention to himself. While doing research on this video, I noticed tons of articles in mainstream media outlets on him, whereas most rappers get blog write-ups at best. He had chart-topping songs with legends in the game, but ultimately, it was the same thing that made him that would eventually break him. Although any prospects of him getting back to where he was rap-wise is probably gone. In the days of people being famous for being spectacles, I'm pretty sure he'll be able to make money somehow. But what do you think? Is 6ix9ine done, or can he redeem himself and make a comeback? Hit us in the comment section and let us know. Also, let us know if you like these rise and fall of rapper videos, and if you'd like us to do more of them in the future. Don't get me wrong, we'll still do the rise and fall of streetwear series, but if you guys like the rap ones, then we'll probably start alternating weeks and have one week where we do a rise and fall of a rap video, and then the other week we'll do a rise and fall of a streetwear video. So it'll kind of alternate that way. Also, don't forget to hit the like button. It helps us out a ton in the search rankings so that we can get more eyes on our videos and continue to grow as a channel. And if you haven't already, consider subbing to our channel. This way you'll be updated every time we drop a new video, which we do each week. But with that being said, I'm Nate the Great from TakeFlight214.com signing out until next time. Peace.